Citadel is a new show that's going to be on Prime Video starting tomorrow as of the time of this video recording and uploading. And this is not a review of the full season. This is more of a first impressions thing because they sent half of the first season. And that's only 3 episodes, it's 6 total. And I wasn't planning on talking about it, except for the fact that I found out after the fact that it's the second most expensive TV show of all time, trailing Prime's other show, The Rings of Power. This is a show that has a lot of buzz going around it, with a chock full of talent involved from the executive producers, those being the Russo brothers, who you know from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. And then you have Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who are starring in the lead roles. And it's a globally spanning show in a way that hasn't really been done before, in that spin-offs are going to happen connected to the main story, which is going to be taking place in different parts of the world. So I believe Italy and India are coming up next. The India one will tie into Priyanka Chopra Jonas's character. So after an incident takes place and the organization known as Citadel falls apart, the rival organization in its place called Manticore starts to make its way up in the world, and eventually it comes to a point where Citadel is threatened and it needs to do something about it and has to come back together in order to do so, which requires bringing back certain agents, and those include our 2 main leads. There's just one little caveat: they don't quite remember their previous lives. I can't go into too many plot details as to why all of that is happening, but rest assured, the show fills you in quite extensively as to what is going on with these characters. And on paper, the concept of Citadel, super interesting. And the things that you see eventually happen in these 3 episodes, 2 of which are premiering tomorrow, you'll see that. You'll see some very high-octane action present in here. You'll see some stuff that's reminiscent of other works that the Russos have been involved in recently, be it Extraction or The Gray Man. And I think if you were a fan of those things, then you're probably really going to love Citadel. I have thoughts on it overall, though, so far. For what I think is the best parts of the show, I'll get those out of the way first. For one, it is the potential and the world building around it. Conceptually, this show is really cool. It has a very Jason Bourne meets James Bond type of thing, which the show acknowledges wholeheartedly is in there. There are aspects of it that are definitely interesting and going against stuff that you may have seen before in spy thrillers. And it tries to do a few new things, and it has some really gritty action sequences to boot. There's one sequence in particular involving Priyanka, which I'm not gonna talk about too much, but it's probably the best action scene so far that I've watched. That was really, really cool. A lot of the stunts are being performed by the actors themselves. I thought they did a great job. Richard Madden's character is one who has a very, coasted kind of past. There's so much to him that we don't quite know, but he also himself is trying to piece it together because of this thing that has happened very early on in the show, and the fact that they're sort of trying to piece all of their lives back together. And so the show acts sort of like a puzzle in which you are along with the main characters and trying to figure out every other thing and sort of, going along with them on that journey. So it doesn't feel like you're entirely out of the loop, as you are in the same position as they are. Although in some cases you will find yourself several steps ahead, because there's a couple of things that happen and you think, well, yeah, kind of saw that coming. And there is an intriguing setup there throughout. Unfortunately, the one issue that I had throughout, at least from what I've seen, and I'm hoping that the second half rectifies it a little bit, is the fact that there seems to be a lack of urgency, which is there throughout the entire thing. Like, I'm watching some of these episodes and Manticore is built up to be this really nefarious organization. And while there are some, really crazy things that you see a couple of agents do, it doesn't really go beyond that. And I feel like there is a very subdued nature to it that I'm waiting for the thing that's like, oh my god, this is really scary. I'm waiting for some more of that to start hitting. Some stuff like that you do see hints of, but they're also we're provided a lot of that through exposition and stuff. And I'm not sure how I entirely feel about that. Now, granted, there are some, like I said, heavy hitting moments for sure. Like, there's a couple of really impressive sequences that you get, and yeah, those are really, really cool. But there are times where I was just like, all right, let's try and pick up the pace a little bit. So sometimes I think it could have been more tightly paced, at least this first half. It sort of had this feeling of, I'm not trying to compare it to anything else, but like, if you guys watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the first half of that season is a little more dialed down, and then the second half really picks up in those last 3 episodes. I have a feeling a similar thing is going to happen with Citadel, where it's like we have this more toned down first half because we're trying to set everything up, and now that things are going a little more, we'll have a more action-packed second half. So you might get a second part to this video, like another extended thoughts on it and what I think of it later on. But as it stands right now, I think there is promise in Citadel. And the first impressions, like I said, that's what this is. I think there's some good stuff in here. I think if you're fans of like some, your standard action fare and stuff like that, then you're probably going to have a good time with it. It's probably going to get a lot of fans globally because a lot of people really love Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra Jonas. So you're going to get tons of people praising the hell out of it for that, which is great. I hope you guys really do enjoy whatever it is that you start watching tomorrow. But there's definitely that height of like really great, marks that it can reach that it hasn't quite reached yet. It's not A+ in terms of that storytelling so far. Like I said, brimming more with that potential though, with more that can be better rather than what you are watching right now. And I think we're still in that stepping stone phase at the moment. But again, I fully give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how the second half goes. But until that fact, let me know what you guys think, because I know that this is going to go up and you guys are going to see the first 2 episodes. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you guys think of the first couple of episodes? Did you enjoy what you were watching? I'm not really going to give it a full-blown consensus yet because, again, I can't. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I am curious to see it. As it stands, I'm in the it's fine range, so far. But the potential for it to be a lot better. Guys, thank you very much as always for watching. Look forward to more stuff very, very soon. Much more coming up very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.